So, my trip to Saskatchewan. Well, first of all, I'll talk a little bit about how I got there. I play lacrosse, like you guys know. I think I've mentioned that before. Right, Ian? I've mentioned that.
Yeah.
So, I'm also Native American. Did I mention that too? I think I did. Maybe. Anyway, I tried out for Team Haudenosaunee, which means people of the Longhouse. It's also can say Iroquois, whatever. Basically, tribes in New York. So it was like Team New York, all the natives in New York. We competed in many sports, volleyball, basketball, badminton. Yeah, there was actually badminton. I think there was tennis, boxing, wrestling, and then, my lacrosse. There's also a bunch of other ones that I kind of forgot about. Oh, archery, canoeing. Can never forget that. Tried out for the lacrosse team. Originally an alternate. Somebody broke his arm, so boom, got the call up. Got to go. Most of everything was paid. I think you only had to pay. It was like $175, and that covered airfare. Airfare was actually supposed to be like $900, like round trip there. So that was a pretty good deal there. Never been on a plane before, so that was kind of scary for the first time. I took kind of too many airplane pills, and I was like really high when I got on the plane. I was just like, oh, my neck was like flopping all over because like I couldn't hold it up because I couldn't feel anything, and my body was basically numb. Anyway, got on that plane. Well, first we had to get a bus all the way down in Cattaraugus, which is like the closest reservation. We took a bus from there because that's where most of the players are from, to Toronto, because it's cheaper to fly from there. And then from Toronto we flew to Regina, which is the capital of Saskatchewan, where the games were. So it was definitely a very cool experience. I mean, it was fun just getting there. Didn't experience a whole lot of problems. The plane was small as hell though. Like, it was like 2 seats here and 2 seats here. It was like a real narrow one. So it was kind of scary. I had a window seat for the first one there, so that was kind of, again, scary for me. Never been on a plane, but after that I was kind of fine. Getting there, one of the first things I did was obviously look up video game stores and antique stores while I was there. Me and my buddy Lloyd, we went out for a walk, I should say, just down the blocks. We stumbled upon this antique store, basically just old lady antiques. That's all it was. There was like 3 trading cards in there. They were CFL cards signed. I don't know too much about them, so I didn't buy them. Probably should have. I think they were like $15 a piece, but that's kind of a lot of money for me to dish out on something I don't even know about. Talked to the people that were there that owned the shop, asking about video games. They didn't have any. They said they had Xbox games. That was it. When I asked for Nintendo games, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like Mario, eh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So then they said that stuff's kind of rare up there, and soon I found out it actually really is. There's one chain video game store, EB Games, and then that's it. So the only other thing I could find is a store called Replay Games. They have 2 locations. They're a local video game store there. 2 locations in Regina. One like outside and called Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Yes, that was a Slapshot joke. You ever watch Slapshot, Ian?
Yeah,
you know what the fashion, when they were at the fashion show, and then the lady's like, if I can pronounce this right, he's from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Yeah. Remember that? Yeah. So the closest location was about 1 mile from my hotel. So while everyone else was out at some other sporting event, I walked to the store. It was actually a really weird walk. It's like in the middle of the hood, and I found out that they have like the most, the most Native American kidnappings in all of Canada. Yeah, so I was kind of creeped out about that, and I went alone. Got there, pretty cool store. They didn't have a whole lot of retro stuff, but what they did have was very good quality. Some of the stuff was overpriced, but their boxed games were $7. They had this whole bin, which is basically all $7 stuff, and ranged from Atari, Super Nintendo, NES. They had a lot of box stuff. They even had box and television games, which now that I think about it, I probably should have at least bought one, because those are $7, and I know those are kind of rare-ish, especially when they're boxed. Then there was the display case in the corner. And I just walk up there, and I'm just like, uh-oh, this is a locked case. There's got to be something good. The first thing I see is a little Samson. A little frickin' Samson. Okay, and immediately my heart starts racing. Okay, my heart is like, okay, and then like right next to it is a Cheetahman 2 boxed. Okay, then it was like, and then like heart attack, like I'm dead on the floor almost, and then a box like Super Mario All Stars, like I'm dead on the ground. But then I see the sign that says items not marked in this case are not for sale. Yes, not for sale. So I grabbed some of the stuff I wanted, walked over the counter, and I'm just like, hey man, I see, in that case there's a little Samson, and I was wondering, maybe I could take a picture with it, maybe make Ian jelly, thinking I bought it. And then he's like, oh no, it's only it's the PAL version, the European version. It's not really worth that much. It's worth like $6. And I'm like, I'm like, did you just say it's only worth $6? Now let me go over for people that don't know. A loose cart American version or NTSC version of Little Samson on the NES. I'm tripping my words. This is crazy. A Little Samson is worth like $400 to $500. Okay. Then the European version is almost just as rare, like volume-wise, of how you can find it, and that's especially being the United States, it's even more rare. Well, U.S. and Canada, because I was in Canada. It's just as rare, if not more rare, to find a European version here than it is the NTSC version, and that's still worth like $300. Okay, so this guy really had no idea what he was talking about, and I was just like, oh well, then like maybe I'll offer you like $10, saying it's only worth like $6. And he's like, oh no, it's display value is worth much more, because they were displaying it as a real Little Samson, like the version that we all know, the NTSC version. And he was just having none of it. He wouldn't sell it to me. So I was hoping I could catch him slipping. Like that's like major slipping when like you go from like $300 to like $10. That is like the definition of getting caught slipping. So it was crazy. So I just picked up a few things. Then there was the pawn shop right behind the hotel. This whole time I was going like walking miles away to try to find shit. Literally right behind the hotel, I could not find it as a pawn shop, and literally on the sign it says like retro video games. So I go in there and I found immediately a lot of cool stuff. Super Mario All Stars boxed. When I saw like some of those titles from a distance, I'm like, oh yes. And then I see like eBay prices. So no longer can you find cheap games at pawn shops. They really just go on the internet and look up prices. So let me go over the few things that I picked up. There's also a few other things that I didn't talk about a whole lot that I'll go over here. So first off, my replay games pickups. So first box game here is Stanley Cup for the Super Nintendo. I don't think oh yeah, I do have one box game that I have bought for the Odyssey 2. But this is the first Super Nintendo box game I've gotten. $7. A bunch of the stuff in the bin was priced for that. Very great condition. I'll open it up here. It's totally complete with manual.
Just went crazy because you opened it up.
Yeah, it's got the manual in it. It also had, oh no, maybe that was the other game. It's got the little case here, the little white case. And then here's the game, and it's I don't think it's ever been played really. It doesn't, oh shit. It doesn't really look like it's been played. It's still got like a number here. I'm not sure, that could be original from the factory, or maybe it was at a rental store, I'm thinking. But yeah, the label is crisp. There's really no rips or tears. There's some slight discoloration over there, but other than that, it is totally, original cart, great condition. Most of the games that were boxed in there were sports games. So this is GP1. I believe it stands for, yeah, Grand Prix 1. It's a motorcycle racing game for the Super Nintendo. I'm really pumped to get this one too. Ended up looking at it. I haven't really seen this anywhere. Box, there's only been one sold online in the past year. So the rarity's there, but it's really only worth like $11. And this is the game which has, I'll open it up. It's got your cautionary type, like Nintendo, like the Nintendo manual, not just the game manual. Straight from Nintendo. If you can see that there. And then it's got the manufacturer, like the game designer's little slip. Here you can fill it out, and it's got like a questionnaire, and you can review the game on there. Has not been used, and doesn't even, it's like crisp and everything. And then here's, you can get a subscription to Nintendo Power through here. This actually, I don't know, Ian, do you think this is too good to be true? I mean, this feels like new.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm not sure about this. I'm gonna have to look.
Insecurities.
There's that. And then, see, everything looks good. And then, boom, the cart. Yeah. Probably should have opened before I bought it. From a rental store called Property of Mr. Video, Regina, Saskatoon. Huge ass label over the cart. They burned their name into the cart. That's not gonna get fixed. Yeah, that's all I can really say about that. It's just, yeah. So everything other than that, hopefully maybe I can try to flip this at, you know, like a local game store around here, like Oogie or something like that. Hopefully they won't open up the box and see the cart. Track and Field 2. Seen this game a lot around where we live. It's a pretty common game, but usual going price is around $5-6, so I didn't overpay that much. But like value wise, like online type deal, like the book price is like $3. But you know, the prices you see online aren't realistic usually, because it's whatever, you know, the usual prices around where you live, that's what you can realistically sell it for or ask for. And then at the pawn shop behind the house, it was called, or behind the hotel, called Cashopolis, that I went to with a few of my friends. Picked up a lot of cool stuff there. Originally picked up a lot of cool stuff. Got Back to the Future 2 for the NES, or I don't know if it's 2. Anyway, it's a Back to the Future game. They had it going for like $6. And then also there, like, they had one of those like brand new Genesis to SNES converters, which basically it's like a half cart, and you put it inside your Super Nintendo, and then if you have a Genesis game, which I have a few, but I don't actually have a Genesis, you can put it in there and play it through the Super Nintendo. And that was priced at $25, and it's actually like $20 cheaper than what they're selling their Genesis for. So that's a no-brainer to me because I have a Super Nintendo. So pick that up, and then they also had the reproduction NES controllers, because I only have one right now. So got that. Basically, I just got a huge ass pile, put it on the register, and then I used my credit card because I'm out of cash basically, and I had some credit card problems, and there goes that purchase. So I only had $5 cash, so the only game I could get was Bases Loaded 2 for $2.95, which to me around here is a steal, because going price of this is around $5, even though it's a sports game. So that was an awesome pickup for me there.